Hello everybody, 'tis Tuesday, the British day of chewing. I hope you're doing very well. I'm doing very good. I finally got myself the time to make a spreadsheet all about the upcoming Battlegrounds Season 11, which drops tomorrow. So yeah, go and check that out in the link in the description. If you don't want to see me going over the spreadsheet, I'm going to be doing a little bit of kind of flipping between in-game and talking about some of the things that I'm talking about. Also, I'll be talking about, as you know, the spreadsheet, but also we're going to be talking about some other stuff like a fancy infographic done by Misty K, an amazing infographic done by Misty K, which I've put into, and a link to Misty K's stuff is in the information in the description. I've also put it into the spreadsheet as well, but make sure to go and support the people that created the stuff, like Misty K, like Cat Murdoch, and various other people as well. So it's always great to kind of integrate stuff. Also, we'll be going and referring to the information on the forums as well. So let's, get into it and cover this stuff. So the main thing about this particular meta is tech champions are going to be key. I think they're going to be key for a lot of reasons, and as well, it depends how you choose to set up and who you're going up against. The reason I say going up against and setting up is that going up against is likely when someone says, oh, this particular meta, as it says on the forums, is that, well, they get prowess. What kind of champion class gets a lot of prowess? Mutants. That's right. Well done, chat. So that really means that you'll bring in techs to counter the mutants. Yes. So what's the point? Nobody knows. And that's just how it is. A lot of the time when you kind of think that Kabam are putting out a meta, you'll go like, okay, well, this is the kind of the right defender for it. Well, if you do put out a defender, it means that it can be countered. And a lot of times you're getting counters to the counters. Try to kind of take you down a rabbit hole is that in this particular meta, in like Gladiator Week 2, the concept is that they're going to get a prowess buff. They're going to continue getting prowess buffs in the Gladiator Circuit meta. Now that's all well and good, but if you have a champion that is nullify immune, then it's like, okay, well, I'm bringing in a tech champion to counter the mutant, or I'm counter like a specific type of champion, or kind of take off prowess or take off a buff. And it's like, well, you counter the counter by using this champion as a defender. So you've got to think very carefully and very kind of methodically about the champion being put in. But I've jumped the gun. Let's kind of get back to the point, because, so I've gone so far from the point. So the main thing about this is tech champions cannot have their ability accuracy lowered whenever a tech champion you're attacking gains an armor up buff or inflicts an armor break debuff. They remove one of the defender's prowess effects, as a result of getting the armor up or the armor break, they treat it as kind of a nullification. Whenever the tech champion removes a prowess, they gain a fury passive granting 10% of attack rating. The problem is with a lot of this, you might be like, right, well, what champions am I fielding for this? Am I going to be fielding champions that are going to be, as I said, those nullify immune champions? And to give you a bit of an idea on some of those nullify immune champions, there's quite a few. If that's the case, if that's like, how we're going to look to rotate here. I've even put in the week 3 element to the guide. Like you can go down the route of putting Adam Warlock, Civil Warrior, Gallon, the Overseer, Omega Sentinel, Thing, Viv Vision, Mr. Negative. I've put Viv Vision twice. I'll remove that just so that's kind of like that's cleared up a little bit. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you've got those particular champions, then the chances to remove those prowess effects may not work technically in theory based on that one. There's a lot of in theory things that we need to kind of like, again, go over. Of course, a lot of this can be avoided if you don't do the same basic attack twice in a row. So it's like you kind of do medium, light, medium, possibly, or light, medium, light. The reason I'm saying it like this, and I'm kind of like going, ugh, is that I kind of feel like with this, it's problematic. It's problematic because it changes rotations of certain champions. Like, you wouldn't play Gallon in a certain way. Kind of, maybe you would. Would you adapt? Possibly. Certain champions may require you to go medium, light. But that, again, plays into the narrative of in a nutshell, giving the attacker a prowess buff. But this could also play into your favour. And champions that do bend into that particular element narrative and, countering would be as Mystic Apets, like Mystic-based champions. Actually, Mystic Apets about Mystic-based defense options, but also puts like nullify, stopping buffs type thing. But that's just the thing, isn't it? There's different strokes for different folks with stuff as to how you interact. The same way like putting on defense champions that are armor break immune could be good options as well, and could be rather frustrating options for defense. There's a veritable smorgasbord of champions to choose from for this, and so many different approaches. Of course, it's very easy to say if the the person you're facing off against puts mutant champions, then 9 times out of 10 you're going to use tech champions to counter the mutant champions. They field a Havoc, you field a Nimrod. They field a Bishop, you field an Infamous Iron Man. They field a Emma Frost, you field an Omega Sentinel. They field a Apocalypse, you field an Armor Break. It's late when I'm recording this. A Warlock. And again, like this process kind of like, it's just rinse and repeat. They field a Sauron, you field the this. A Iron Man, for example, as a counter to it. They field this mutant, you field Viv Vision. Again, this pattern's going to be repetitive, I think, throughout the month. But I think there will be some definite standout champions that are going to be just consistently annoying. I mean, Mystic Ape at some great options in the cosmic field of things, like your King Groot, your Novus. That's definitely a champion I want to rank up and use in some capacity. Terex, an annoying champion. Gallon, of course. Gallon, I think, is going to be a great option. Adam Warlock, I think, is going to be good as well. A bit of a standout this month. But look, there's also armor up based tech champions that are going to benefit from that Fury passive. And again, that again is another kind of great point about, which these tech champions are going to be that quick to access Fury buff builders. And I think it's going to be fantastic. Ultron, Lady Deathstrike, a champion that is someone I've got to rank up, and I think maybe this is the month to do it. This is the kind of the Battlegrounds based season to do it and to take them further. But I also do think there's going to be the still annoying champions. Like, people will still field those annoying defenders. What kind of annoying defenders? Well, Atuma, Absorbing Man, Ebony Maw, Kingpin, Hulkling, Gore, the usual crowd. Rintrah, Sasquatch, Spider-Man Supreme, Spot. We've said Terex. But look, Thing as well. And Weapon X. Of course, there's going to be Weapon X on there. So there's always going to be those usual suspects I think you'll face off against in defense or be drafted. So don't expect any surprises. But as I said, interesting champions fielded as defenders may just give you that edge. And that's something that's going to be very important. You accessing that Fury passive for those tech champions, even though it may not be the opportune scenario, could give a lot of interesting options. I mean, look at this. A Mega Sentinel against Spot. People put Spot, you put a Mega Sentinel. Why? Tracking debuff. Start off with that. Could get yourself that miscounter that you need right off the bat. Get yourself the Fury passive because you're building armor ups. And if you're building it as part of that, you're suppressing the prowess. With that, you don't need to switch to the other kind of like mode. So if you don't have to switch to the mode with the particular champion, you get armor up buffs as with the Mega Sentinel as part of a kit. It interacts with the meta of the node. You get a Fury passive. Again, it's just thinking about these things. Hill block options against a champion that would, Sasquatch. A counter for you could be having a counter for Sasquatch. Switch to the hill block side of things with a Mega Sentinel. Great champion, but I'm not selling a Mega Sentinel. They're saying, yeah, but she is fantastic. Like, really am enjoying her at the moment. So in any case, I do think that going into some of the later metas, especially with the Gladiator circuit, having the likes of debuff shruggers, because if you stun, you will get stunned back. Similar to like the Kate Bishop side of things. So yeah, like do watch out for that one, because it's like defender starts the fight with stun immunity. and it's whenever they would be stunned, the attacker is instead stunned for 4 seconds. The immunity lasts for 12 seconds, then goes on cooldown for 12 seconds before returning. It purifies all stun debuffs on the defender. So it's like, that's something to bear in mind. Like, you may want debuff shruggers depending on how aggressive you want to play. If not, you're gonna have to be just intercepting all the time with your champion. So it's intercept, or it's debuff shruggers, or stun immune options, and as well annoying defenders, which I think would be the usual suspects. Any mutants for the prowess, and as well nullify immune champions could be great options for this one. Maybe. So yeah, some decent options there when it comes to the Gladiator Circuit meta. And that's been the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Go and check out the spreadsheet in the link in the description. Shout out to Misty K. And yeah, I'm gonna try some of these champions out. If they don't work, then I'll change out the spreadsheet and improve it and do a version 2. So look out for that. And cheers for all the support recently. Means a lot. Thanks. See you later. Bye bye.